Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Money Conversations with Magical. So, as I drive to my errands, I have been noticing something about small startups or small businesses that are starting along the side. So, have noticed that there is quite a number of businesses that look alike, or they offer the same services or products. So you find there's an M-Pesa shop, and next there's another M-Pesa shop. Then you find there's a wines and spirits, and next to that is a wines and spirits. You find there's a small restaurant, and next to it is a restaurant. And further, I've noticed a trend that a business opens in a certain space, and within 6 months down the line, that shop or that business has closed down. And then another one comes in, and you give it like 4, 5, 6 months, and again they close. And the cycle continues on and on and on. And it got me thinking, what factors should people consider before starting a business or opening up that small startup to avoid this kind of a situation where businesses are closing down very fast? The first thing, I believe that it's important to understand the competition in that business you're getting into. Because when you open a shop or a business, just because you've seen another one close by and you think, oh, that person is doing well, they are making good profit, it's good to understand that the moment you open such kind of business, you will end up sharing the clients or the customers, and both of you then end up getting minimal returns. And I'm just thinking, how about if you could think of opening a complementary business, or one that substitutes the other one, such that you offer a product or a service that substitutes or is used together with the other one. Okay? So in that way, the person coming to buy an item from the other shop will end up buying from you as well, because they also need that item. Oh, this thing is making noise. I need to put on my safety belt. Sorry, just a minute. There we go. Yeah, safety first. The other thing that one should consider is the demand. What's the demand of the product or the service you're offering? Because if you do not have enough demand, then that's when you find yourself closing the business within a very short time. And some of the demand, some demand could be seasonal. So also don't be lied by the very seasonal kind of demands. For instance, some kind of services or products are in high demand during specific seasons. So beware of that. So for instance, if you open a fruit parlor outside a school, yeah, how likely are you going to sustain that? Not to sustain, to get the client that you need to sustain your business, because naturally is that students are not inclined to buying fruits. But if you open an ice cream parlor, for instance, outside a school, then the demand is enough to sustain your business. So it's important to do your research and understand the demand of that service or product you're going to sell. Some people are driving like crazy. So the other thing you need to think about is your risk appetite. Your risk appetite determines the nature of business that you can open. So for instance, if you're a risk averse kind of a person, it would be quite dangerous or tricky financially to get into the matatu business, because the matatu business comes with an element of high risk. Of course, the returns are high, but the risk is quite high as well. So don't just get into a business because your friend or your neighbor has opened one and you're looking and thinking, oh, I'm seeing quite some good flow of customers there. Understand the nature of the risk in that business. The other thing that it's important to check out is the cost. What other costs are related to that business, opening that business? Apart from just the capital, what kind of maybe rent will you need to pay? Is that rent that you're paying equivalent or sustainable with the returns you're getting, and especially with a startup business? Also understand, or related to the cost, understand the rates, maybe there are permits that you will need to pay to the local county government or to the national government to run that kind of a business. So that you don't find yourself sinking your capital and then you're not able to sustain all these other costs, the permits and the rents, and also things like you need to have some people working for you. So you need to factor all these things before you open that startup. The other thing that I believe it's important to consider is your current financial situation. Do you have even funds set aside for emergency, or are you putting all your money and pumping it as capital into that business? Because then if that's the case, you do not have an emergency fund, you do not have a kitty for your daily utilities, you will end up using the interest or the returns you make from your business to pay for your utilities, and hence your business does not have the capacity to grow because you're not plowing back the money you make back into your business. So I believe that you also know a few things people should consider before they open a business, and I would appreciate if you can share that on the comments below so that we can learn, because we are all on a journey of learning. As I keep saying, every day is school day. No one has the monopoly of information or the monopoly of knowledge. We teach and we learn from each other. Thank you so much for creating time to listen in. Bye bye.